And after move e6, then white has fianchettoed his light squared bishop. So now maybe we're going to see white eventually pick up the queen's pawn and push it 2 squares forward. And nope, black says absolutely not. And now the position becomes very sharp.
Yeah, so the position could have transposed into the Catalan opening, a very famous opening, very trendy one as well that Levon has used with great success in his career. Black Duda here has instead chosen a very ambitious attempt. And OK, this bishop move, at least this type of idea, was popularized in the World Championship match when Magnus used it against Jan Nepomniachtchi, eventually winning a very famous game where there was a big blunder. So Duda taking a leaf out of Magnus's book.
Is this the same one that we had Wei Yi versus Aronian? Where Wei Yi got a winning position out the opening against Aronian. I'm trying to work out from the last tour. It's very similar, isn't it?
Slightly different, yeah.
Slightly different, right, OK, yeah.
That one, there had already been a set of pawn exchanges. Okay. Here, there's been a set of minor piece exchanges, but all the pawns remain on the board. There is a kind of semi-threat now of white's knight leaping into the centre, hitting the black queen. Will the black queen step back to preempt that? Yeah, very ambitious by black. I'm always sceptical of black playing and getting away with stuff like this just because white's light squared bishop, the bishop in front of the white king, is just so potent on this diagonal.
It's Duda, though, isn't it? I mean, Duda does play very ambitious chess, and he likes keeping the piece on the board, he likes space, and he wants to complicate. A typical move here, David, and Jovanka, the knight coming over to help push on the queen side, etc.
Yeah, it's going to move to c2, as you see there. And then the big thing is going to be white is desperately going to push those pawns on the left. And note the way he does it, because he pushes first with the b3 pawn, then it will be the a2 pawn, Annie, and then followed by the rook.
Yeah, interesting. It just looks a bit slow for white. I'm a bit sceptical of this last pawn push. I would have pushed the other one most likely, but OK, Duda chooses to swap a set of knights. No.
Ooh, OK.
The knights are dancing around. Black offers the trade. White says no. Will black retreat now?
So if this is a draw, I should remind everyone it goes to Armageddon. Oh, yeah. I love a bit of Armageddon, you know, which is just one game. That's it. Yeah. So. Yeah. And
who will have the selection of colours in the Armageddon?
So apparently Duda had the opportunity to choose in this one, and I'm actually not 100% sure why, but he is the highest rated player among these two on the tour standing, so I'm guessing that is why. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I do think if it goes to Armageddon, Duda is a massive favourite. He's just a bit quicker on the mouse if he needs to be. I've played both of these two online at Blitz, and I'm a bit... In terms of time, in terms of clock usage, I'm a bit more confident in Duda's abilities there. Levon, we've seen, is quick, he's capable, but if Duda can choose the white pieces, have that 1 extra minute, he very rarely draws that many games anyway, despite the course of today's match. So I think he would choose white, and he would love that opportunity. So a draw here for Duda would actually be a decent result.
Would anyone choose white now, do you think?
I think both of these two players would back themselves to choose white. Maybe more solid players who are also quick on the mouse, they would choose black, just to have that draw in hand in Armageddon. But, yeah, I mean, while a few changes, white is finally ready to start advancing pawns on the left side, on the left flank, but black is looking pretty good in the centre.
Maybe black can move his bishop back now, try to stop those pawns from moving. It seems like black's making OK progress to me. You know, with those pawns coming forwards, it could be a little bit dangerous to white even. So.
Yeah, I mean, here comes another one, but isn't this a little bit too early? After all, white is probably going to take that pawn.
This is a very typical sacrifice, isn't it? But this is a really brave move from Duda. And the point is that this is taken, you give up that pawn, you have to give it up, and instead, Aronian counterattacks. So it's getting really wild now at the moment.
Yeah, he kind of trusts Duda a little bit. I mean... Hang on a second, isn't this just maybe quite nice for white?
The acid test maybe would have been capturing that black pawn in the centre, but as you guys mentioned, black would get lots of activity there. Instead, white is just playing on the side where he's stronger, on this left flank. Jovanka, you think it's nice for white. Any specific reasons? I mean, I'm inclined to agree, but I can't really pinpoint the essence.
My whole reasoning is because whenever I've played this type of position before, whenever those pawns have gotten motoring, I find them very, very unpleasant to deal with. And yes, you know, black's pawn centre looks very, very impressive, but is not actually doing anything.
I mean, look at Black's bishop now. It looks horrendous there. It's
Locked out of the game.
Locked
Dark
out.
square bishop, yeah.
Yeah, can't do anything now. I mean, it's totally on the wrong square, isn't it, at the moment? And, you know, I think you're right, Ivanka, those pawns in the middle that Black's got, they may look scary, but without any backup of pieces, they're not doing anything. You need a knight on the other side of the board, a bishop on the other side of the board. You can't do anything just with one queen behind them. Yeah. So
it's again like a battle. You've sent your foot soldiers forward, but no kind of cavalry, infantry to support them. And look at the clock times as well. 2-minute advantage for Levon Aronian. That's significant.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, can Levon get greedy and start winning the pawns now?
The answer is yes. He answers you just in time, Ivanka. And what is Duda's plan? Ooh, just to capture this pawn. Normally you would suggest maybe advancing, bypassing that pawn, locking in White's bishop behind its own pawn, but
Yeah.
now White's knight can just jump into the centre.
I mean, I was going to say Aronian won't get a better chance than this. He kind of had one in the first game, but he's getting another chance here. And, you know, he should be a safe pawn upright with better pieces after this simple capture here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that one piece that's locked out of the game, that black a7 bishop.
Yeah.
He's playing without a piece and no attack will work if you're playing a piece down.
Yeah.
And those light squares around the black king, I mean, they're so weak.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be tempted to manoeuvre a knight towards that direction, and you see Levon do that.
I mean, this is a great move as well,
Yeah.
putting a knight in front of Black's pawn and just stabilising the centre of the board. I really like this idea.
Yeah.
Look at Duda. He knows he's in big trouble already.
Yeah.
And he knows he's not in the flow. Levon did make that switch from rapid to blitz much better than him. Look at the clock times, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the position is hopeless, you can't be this far behind on the clock.
Yeah. Well, at least he's got rid of White's light square bishop, and that is the best defender of White's king. So maybe Black can get something of the rook and queens. It's just, I think it's just coming back to Black's bishop. Just look at Black's bishop. It might as well be a pawn. You know, there's no point in having a bishop there. Just swap it with a pawn. It's doing nothing, and that's and you're a pawn down as well. So it's not just that piece. Yeah, a couple of issues to worry about here.
I mean, this last exchange, you're swapping off White's best piece, but you're also maybe getting rid of your own best piece, your own best minor piece. So I'm expecting maybe the White king to capture this bishop and just full control.
And the funny thing is, if you try to go b6, we can't probably analyse it because of the time, but then you can really lock that bishop in, and that's very amusing. That you know, I love those kind of situations when you see them. You know, so. But anyway, the game's developing quickly. But yeah,
maybe just while Levon was thinking there, just to show, because this is the key fact. This bishop is dead. This bishop's just staring at a white pawn and white pawn chain. And like you said, Simon, if you try and get it out now, the knight is kicked away, and then now this bishop is literally, it's worse than a black pawn. At least a black pawn could move. This bishop's staring at its own pawn. So Duda's playing a battle without that piece. And even if in a situation like this, even if Black regains the pawn and captures this guy, any endgame is going to be winning for White, because this piece is so bad. White will simply eventually win it. So, yeah, he can bully him now, Aronian, with his clock advantage and with his pawn advantage, also with the advantage of the better pieces. This queen capture is not good. This bishop is... Oh, I said it's not good, and he plays it. Commentator's curse, but this bishop is going to decide the game.
Maybe he had to grab it. I mean, what else can you do? You might as well grab a pawn, I suppose. But I agree with you, David, that it's horrible, Ivanka, isn't it?
It's totally horrible. And also there's a big threat on the board. You know, White knight is actually threatening to come to the f4 square, attacking the rook, and also threatening to jump into g6, forking the king and rook.
This is what we call positional domination, simply. White's knights, especially the knight that's just moved into the centre in front of the black pawn, I mean, they're just glorious blockaders on the light squares.
And Duda's going down, close to 30 seconds, not that much time, difficult position.
But great air quality in Miami Arena. Problem is, the same air quality for Levon Aronian.
The important things in life, the air quality.
Fighting for his life here, young Christoph Duda, but the bar is all the way over to Levon's side, and it's looking good on the clock as well.
And the threats just keep on coming, because now Levon is threatening to attack the knight and destabilise the bishop. This is why Duda moves it back to a ridiculous-looking square. I mean...
I bet you Lev's probably enjoying this now, isn't he? He must be enjoying this position somewhat.
He's barely paused for thought, Levon Aronian. So impressive.
Yeah.
13 seconds.
Really strong play by him.
Yeah, I agree.
And also to bounce back from the upset of the last game where he knows he threw away the win. Can you now play this idea? I just want to play it, but then the rook gets a bit weirdly trapped. That'd be, we probably don't need to play it here. And Duda trying to break out. If he can get his bishop out, then he's in the game.
And Levon going for the most direct attempt. He's threatening a bunch of knight forks now. Black's knight had to trade off. Now White's knight wants to jump forward with a check, wants to jump towards the black bishop.
It's going to jump towards the black bishop and the knight. The rook.
Yeah.
Looks like a killer.
Yeah, it's just over here. Duda is about to lose that terrible bishop. To be honest, I don't even want to win it. I just want to just maybe push a pawn forward.
But you know what it is, David? Because you're one sadistic player. You just love the torture. So...
Let's see if Aronian is equally sadistic. Is he going to go and try and win that bishop immediately, or is he just going to say, nope, it's trapped anyway? Push a pawn forward, lock it in behind its own pawns.
I know what you mean. I would do the same.
Yeah.
It's too...
No, he goes for it.
He's going
it's too tempting, the lure of material.
Yeah, I mean, it is a whole bishop, I think. Safe bishop.
Yeah, you can take that piece now. It does finally drop off the board. That bishop, I think it felt a relief at being captured.
Yeah, kill me now. So,
still some work to be done because Black does have two very strong pawns. And they will connect.
And the knight is offside at the moment. So, if the pawns can go before the knight gets back, it's some hope, but not much.
Not much, yeah. White's knight, rook and king should connect. They will combine and coordinate in order to stop Black's pawns. Ideally, you want to stop... I love this move. Ideally, you want to stop the black king coming towards the centre, I was going to say.
Yeah.
But these pawns advancing alone shouldn't be enough.
But now the king can kind of approach the pawn.
White king can come. And let's see Levon's screen. He's about to play your move, Jovanka, the white king centralising.
Yeah, nice move.
He's just playing by instinct, Levon, but he's also playing on general rules. He just saw his opponent had a locked-out piece. He locked it in, won it. Now he's bringing his pieces together.
It looks like Duda is out of time on his clock. Keeps ticking down to almost 0 seconds.
OK, and again, he's playing moves with 1-2 seconds on his clock, Duda. And last trick now, but it's not going to work. His pawn can just be captured. And here, I mean, there's not even a threat, really, for Black. OK, you can just go and win this black pawn.
Yeah.
And a whole knight down.
Yeah.
It's hopeless.
It's hopeless, yeah. I mean, you might as well play on, I guess, because,
Mouse slips, power outages, someone forgetting to plug in the laptop. There's still some ways to save it. Problem is, a rook trade helps White. I mean, Black's remaining pawn is going to drop soon. Beyond hopeless now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Not much else to say, unfortunately, for Duda. He's just going through the motions. Levon still has 2 minutes to spare, 2 minutes in the bank.
How impressed by Levon in this game.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
The whole Blitz segment, I mean, I know he missed that win or kind of let the win slip in the last game, but complete control both games. And Duda, I mean, when he won the Oslo Esports Cup, he was winning all the tie-breaks. He played several tie-breaks and he won most of them. Aronian's just swatted him away in this one.
Yeah.
And I just like the way that he's using all of his army here. You know, the king, the knight, the rook, all of them are working so well together. And now he just improves his rook, getting ready for the king to step up the board. And there's just nothing that Duda can do apart from wait.
Yeah, and waiting when you're a knight and a pawn down, it's not a fun task.
Nope. But I think you just have to embrace it and hope for the best. Because after all, the position is lost.
Reminds me of another ending, I think, where Duda was involved. I can't remember against who, where he was the knight down as well, and he ended up losing in the end, but from another tour. Maybe someone can remember it, but...
Yeah, but I like the fact that Duda's playing on. There are always there's always 0.5% chance or 1% chance. And
you know what I'd do here, though,
Resign.
Like 10 games today.
You have to surprise us, Simon.
No, just resign. So...
Maybe there's some stalemate ideas. As long as the Black's king is on the edge of the board, there's always chances he might accidentally trap it without checking it.
Yeah.
But, Levon, he's found, I think, quite a nice way to He's going to either trade rooks or he's going to force the black king back.
But I guess the ultimate idea for Levon is to queen that pawn.
Yes, so he...
I have to say, that looks kind of hard because there's a lot of stuff in front of that pawn.
Yeah,
Not for long.
Not for long.
Oh, okay.
Step by step. So first he protects his own pawn. Next he'll win the black pawn. Then he'll get his own pieces out the way and slowly start motoring forward. So now he'll step his pawn forward. He'll win the black pawn, guaranteed next move. And like slowly but surely, baby steps, the pawn will step forward. And Duda gives up hope. He resigns.
It's over. Another match win for Levon Aronian today in tiebreaks to gain 2